This actual play is intended for mature audiences and contains themes some viewers may find upsetting. Please check each episode's show notes for specific content warnings and enjoy the show with care.
We're back with Public Access on the Bad Spot. And the key of the palace. Each latchkey narrates a dream they once had of the occluded king sitting upon a blood-red throne, wearing a bramble crown, reigning over the realm of the dead.
It doesn't feel like a dream. Usually when Nina dreams, she thinks of pathways, usually just things she's read about in her books, but in this instance, she's convinced she's awake. It all feels so real. She sat at the base of a blood-red throne, and as her eyes track up, she can see this hooded figure hunched atop it. His head has a crown, brambled and thorned, but the brambles, they stretch up and into the sky like two antlers. It hurts her to look at, to perceive it. And as she tries to avert her eyes back to the landscape, in this dark and horrendous blood-red plain, figures are writhing, roiling into this bubbling swamp-like pit. But from the base of the throne, she can see two more figures. Sat on the stairs leading up to the throne. And right at the base, right at the bottom of the stairs, they look so familiar. But she's never met them before. It's like she's forgotten them. It's like this place is just made of forgotten things. She doesn't want to forget. She doesn't want to forget anymore. But she'll wake up and not remember. Even though they felt like friends.
On the stairs leading up to this crowned king, Leon sees a figure sitting at the base that almost looks familiar. And then down towards one standing at the foot. He doesn't recognize either of them, but he looks out towards the mass of bodies as the king presides over his court, as they writhe and rise and take shape, some humanoid, some more so, some less. And they move and pose in this awful, beautiful, vulgar dance macabre. And his eyes catch on one figure trying to push their way through. She is different to the rest, and they claw at her clothing, at her goodness, at anything good and courageous. But she still struggles forward. Past the one standing at the foot of the stairs, she claws and clambers and struggles her way up as the king looks down towards her, and it seems as if a cloth of ash or dust rises from it as if he hasn't moved for thousands of years, or maybe thousands of years have passed since Leon last looked at him. He rises as she claws her way up the steps, and he only takes 1 or 2 steps forward and down until she reaches the foot, the hem of his dress, and he places his hands out and embraces her face. And he leans down in an impossible way. And Leon, as if he can feel it, knows that his kiss tastes of dirt and earthworms and despair. But she clings to the kindness of it as she burns away into ash, flesh to sinew to bone, and then to nothing. As you begin, so you end.
The air around JJ is thick with ash and cinder. He stood at the base of the steps leading up to the throne, and there are 2 figures stood alongside him, but they're nebulous. You can't quite form their features. Are they fragments? Are they pieces of people, pieces of a puzzle he doesn't know how to solve? He does know they're the only good thing in this place, but he can't quite grasp it, can't put his finger on it. He looks up at the vacated throne and feels a pull towards it. It's inexplicable. He doesn't want power. He isn't interested in dominating others, but he can't quite draw himself away from it. Before he knows, he's 1, 2, 3 steps up towards the throne. But then the ground begins to shake, and he turns around and watches over a truly horrifying scene as the figures that have formed to come and pay tribute to the king stood in their impossible poses, all take out blades, thorns, sharpened, whittled sticks, and ritualistically all slit their throats. They all collapse to the ground. More appear in the place of ones that have fallen, until a giant heap of bodies rising up like an impossible pyramid at the end of the carpeted runway into this king's hall. The ground continues to shake, but the king stands still until something breaks through the floor, lifts him up. There's a seat underneath him, a seat made of twisted, knotted wood, tied around a behemoth, a titanic white chitinous insect, lifts him up, puts his feet in the stirrups, and his steed leads him up the pyramid of corpses. They crunch underfoot as he heads towards what looks like a starless sky. But as he moves closer to it, we see that starless sky begin to take form. It's the reflection in glass, 3 people looking through the screen of an arcade cabinet. JJ, Nina, and Leon. The screen reads, "Game over."
The key of the child, Leon.
A flashback to when you first discovered TV Odyssey. Leon is 8. It is a rainy day in the middle of October, and he's sitting on the couch happily eating ice cream from a bowl, and there's a second one next to him that belongs to his older brother. Their parents don't like when they have sweets before dinner, but they're not here to tell them no, so it's a secret that they share. Charlie is underfoot, half asleep, and his brother Leland is changing the channels on the TV idly. And then Leon looks up and hears, "Fun adventures too. All we need is you in our happy family, in our happy family." And the text splashes Aronet's Playhouse in blocky pink letters. And it opens on the bedroom of a preteen girl. She's a little quirky. She's wearing an Elizabethan shirt over under a denim vest. And she's got 4 pigtails. Her hair is pulled quite tight so they suspend slightly from her head. And she speaks without really opening her mouth very wide. "I'm so excited. I just got this new cassette from my favorite band in the world, Hisao and the Suckling. I can't wait to share this with you." But when she hits play, the tape erupts and it just unspools this black thin reel onto the desk as canned laughter plays as she looks in horror at the tape. And she goes, "That's not right, Dad." And then it changes to a late 70s style living room. All of the furniture is cramped together to fit into frame. And there's a man. He's sitting on a couch holding a newspaper high enough that you can't see his face. And above his head is a fluttering swarm of Luna moths, and his arms are covered in mayflies, and there is a dark stain from the part of his shirt that you can see all the way down, but you can't see his face. And Aronet leans out from the top of the stairs, but she doesn't come down, and asks if he can help her fix this tape. And he says, "Oh, sorry, honey, I'm really busy. I need a 4-letter word for a 1965 Beatles song, and God, I'm really stuck." The camera pushes in on him, and almost as if he can sense it, he grips the newspaper tighter. Why don't you ask your mom if she can help?" And Aronet says, "That's right, Mom." And it changes again. And we see a garden, but it is mostly wilting and overgrown with brambles and thorns. And there is a woman, and she is lying face down in this pale red earth. And Aronet leans out the window. "Mom, can you help me fix the cassette?" And the woman looks up, this pale clay falling from her open mouth as a millipede crawls down her face. "Sorry, honey, I'm a little tied up at the moment." And she raises her hand, and it is stuck amongst the briar, and laughter plays again. Don't you have a sibling you could ask?" And Aronet takes a ponderous look, and then she looks at the camera. And Leland shifts next to Leon, ensnared but unsure. And as Aronet looks at the camera, she says, "You're right." And Leon flinches and his ice cream falls from his hands. And he looks down at it. It disturbs Charlie, and he starts whining. And then he looks back at the TV again. And it's a kitchen, but it's a little darker than the rest of all of the sets. And there's a teenage boy sitting at the table. and he's looking at his hands in confusion, and he has a La Fresca baseball cap on. And it's weird, he looks a little bit like Leon, but he doesn't have a brother, so that's strange. And Aranette comes into frame, and she says, "Your turn, Leland," and puts the cassette on the table in front of him, still unspooling, still whirring that awful sound. And the boy looks at the cassette, and he takes it, unsure what to do, and he starts gathering it, and then he starts putting it into his mouth, trying to get rid of it, but it keeps spreading over the table. And Charlie starts barking. He starts barking so loud at the TV at Aranette. Leon puts his hand over his ears. He's never heard Charlie this loud before. And the boy looks up and then looks back at Aranette. And Aranette smiles. Her smile is wide and it almost clicks into place, revealing not teeth, but something dark and wet and articulating. All we need is you in our happy family, in our happy. And Leon turns the TV off. He sits in that ceaseless howling of Charlie, and he hopes his mom gets home soon. He hates being alone in the house.
The Night of the Bone Wolves. 3 friends and a group of strangers under siege by terrors from the ancient world. The Night of the Bone Wolves. But what good are their weapons and paltry defenses against monstrosities that can warp time and space, and whose hunger is ravenous and bottomless? The Night of the Bone Wolves. Just keep repeating to yourself, it's only a TV show. It's only a TV show. It's only a TV show. The Night of the Bone Wolves. Nina, these old people in the tobacco shop are all arguing. They are, they're kind of just really stressed out. They're freaking out. You have sent messages to the others, like, please come to White Spray. I don't know what's going on, whatever. They're just having this argument. But he was supposed to find us. He was supposed to make contact with us again if they were ever here, if they were ever coming back. Well, if she's here, that means they're here too. It's gotta be. And they're just going on and on like this.
What do you mean if she's here? Me? If I'm here?
Thomasina says, yes, if you're here. You see, when you saw that picture, we all put 2 and 2 together. We were told about this. We were told this was going to happen.
The big man told you.
And then another one says, but it can't be. If they're really here, he was supposed to...
What was he supposed to do?
They all seize up. Their eyes roll to the back of their heads, and all half dozen or so of them just collapse on the floor in a heap around you.
Fuck!
Meanwhile, Leon and JJ and Mal and Elliot, you are all in a car hurtling toward White Spray. You don't even know if Nina's gotten your text messages back. You haven't had time to even talk about what you just watched on that weird chili cook-off tape. The scene is yours.
JJ's got his phone out because obviously he can't drive. He's in the back, Mal's in the front, and JJ saying, "Yeah, she's not responding. Like she is just fucking floor it. We need to get there. This has freaked me out." After the night we've had, that's a high bar to clear. But I think this could be trouble.
Leon has one hand on the steering wheel, and he is chewing through the soft pads on his fingers. Like, fuck, I shouldn't have left her. I'm a dumbass. That's what I am. I'm a dumbass for
Who's actually
leaving her to
driving
go.
right now? I'm sorry if I can.
Leon.
Leon, okay.
Because that doesn't make sense. It's one thing to all be in Deep Lake, but to just let her go to White Spray on her own. But Nina's capable. She's like the most capable out of all of us. I mean, she talked a ghost demon thing off a water tower. That is not something that either of us could probably do successfully. Fuck.
You made your choice and you came to Starlight Kingdom, and I text you to come. Like, don't blame yourself. Like, Nina is the most she's not the most she's the only capable one out of all of us. No offense. I mean, if I wanted someone to file my taxes, then Leon, you're my man. But like, in terms of like taking care of themselves, Nina's a tough fucking cookie. So like, she'll be fine. We just need to get there.
You're going about 60 miles an hour on a nighttime desert road toward White Spray when you both seize up and your eyes roll to the back of your heads and you pass out. You can actually see the car careening off into the ditch, and you can hear Mal and Elliot in the back seat going apeshit. And when the two of you wake up, you find yourself standing on a wide, dark, flat plain. The air doesn't feel like desert air. It's not warm. Actually, in the nighttime it'd be very cold, but it's not that either. It's something different. It has a charge. It has an electricity. The sky is like a very, very dark blue, but you can see TV scan lines running through it. And to one side of the two of you, there's a bunch of old people you don't recognize who are also standing there. And all of you see the wandering monolith, an immense tower, but an immense tower that has arms and legs stepping across this wide expanse. Indeed, it is topped with a head that looks like the sun, a blazing ball of fire. It stretches out a shadowy hand and splays wide its fingers and speaks to you all in your minds with a voice that sounds like static. The wandering monolith tells you that they are here. They are coming. You must prepare a defense. If any of you wish to survive the night, indeed, you might be the last line of defense for everyone. And he says, "Come find me at the time of your greatest need." The old people all wake up, Nina, and they are like, they immediately identify JJ and Leon to you as having seen them in their vision. Leon and JJ, you wake up in Renita Del Toro's police vehicle, and you see your car being hauled away by a tow truck. Mal and Elliot are there as well. Renita says, "What's going on? What happened to the two of you?"
It's a great question. Leon, did you see what? Hang on. Okay, sorry. I know it's going to sound weird, but did you see me? Did you see a giant and maybe like the cast of Cocoon? And we were told to come find this giant in our hour of need, and that we the septuagenarians, the film nerd and the IT consultant, were the last line of defense against something really bad. Does this sound familiar? Or
You've both been muttering about getting to Nina in Whitespray. What's going on?
Nina's in Whitespray. What's going on, Deputy Toro? If I had an explanation that I thought would satisfy you in any way, I would tell you. I can give you the unsatisfying explanation, which is I don't fucking know. Okay? I don't know what's going on. All right? Okay. Good. We're all on the same page, which is no page at all.
Let's just get to Whitespray then, okay? And find out what's going on. Clearly there's something going on. And she will have you hop into her vehicle if you want, and she'll drive you the rest of the way. You're almost there. The big man's timing is impeccable.
It's incredible. Oh, God.
You're all together at the smoking pole. You have a question you have to answer here for the Night of the Bone Wolves, which is, how do we defend the smoking pole from the Great Hungers? It is a complexity 8, and the opportunity is to resolve the mystery by first capturing the Great Hungers during their assault and then destroying them. Now, this is an interesting question in that it's not so much a singular answer you're going for, it's more of a plan. The clues you're gathering are going to be essentially resources and defenses to fight back against these things, to defend yourself, to defend this place, and maybe even to make some traps for them. This is a complexity 8 question. You have 90 minutes of real-world time to collect the clues and answer the question successfully. Everyone is like locking doors. They're doing their best to board up windows. What are the three of you doing?
Screaming in terror.
Okay. Yeah, screaming in terror, but in between, within bouts of sanity. Nina's gonna look. The whole of Dagoya County is connected by utility tunnels, and they keep becoming a recurring location. Are there any tunnels underneath the smoking pole?
Oh, good. I will let you have a roll, but I will also tell you about the smoking pole more generally.
Okay.
It's essentially like it's built like an Old West saloon. It might have even been an Old West saloon back in the day, except it doesn't have batwing doors. It has a regular door, and it has a bank of display windows in the front, which is not great when trying to defend a place against intruders. There is a back room with a back entrance as well, and then there's an upstairs. The upstairs is Thomasina's apartment, Thomasina and Diog's apartment, and that apartment has a balcony that looks out over the main street, like an old Western saloon. That's the basic structure of the building. I love your question, though, so go ahead and make a meddling move with reason, please.
Meddling move with reason. Because I am on 2 conditions, I'm going to mark the utility tunnels becoming a recurring location in my corner of the house. Somehow that knowledge is there. And my reason, because my reason is 0. Okay. That's cocked. It's a 9.
Yes. In fact, Thomasina also understands the weirdness of the utility tunnels in the county. She doesn't know exactly what they mean, but she knows that they're connected to whatever's going on here. Unfortunately, she did not want to live on top of one of these tunnel entrances and has had the entrance to it, which is in her little storm shed, bricked up. But
Bricked
it is
up.
there. Yes.
Okay, Nina finds Leon and JJ and is like, these hungers are coming, right? These hungers that are Cousin Dolores and the creature from the tunnels, right? Like things like that, things we've seen, things we know in the tapes. They're coming for us. They can't get to us through the tunnels. So that's one thing they can't do. But if we, or it could be an escape hatch or something. But
the existence of the tunnels is your first clue. JJ, what do you do?
JJ is kind of slightly distant from this this more kind of animated discussion, and he's muttering to himself. He's like, this is a movie. This is Rio Bravo. This is Assault on Precinct 13. This is just people who have a chance against overwhelming odds. And he's starting to think about how the characters in those films overcame those odds. And then he thinks, and he's going to ask the big man. I would like to use the wandering monolith, which says you can now seek out the big man. How do you make contact with him? I make contact with him by framing up shots through the Waitley camera. And I am going to go out onto the street and shoot some exteriors of the smoking pole in the hope that the big man will come and guide us through our defense.
Interesting indeed. I like it. So this is a move that is connected to the Wandering Monolith. Go ahead and read it to us.
So you can now seek out the big man. The big man can be consulted like any other side character. When you do so, roll with sensitivity. On a 7 to 9, you get a clue, and he will reveal it in a way that reflects his current disposition, which I don't like. On a 10 plus as above, you gain 2 clues.
Fantastic.
So I would like to mark the Waitley camera to give me 3 dice on it, because I don't want to read the miscondition. It's not very good. So yeah. A 12.
Nice. Very good. I don't think there's a 12 thing on that, but there is a 10 plus, so you're good to go there. You will get 2 clues. I'll line those up for you in a moment. While you're doing that, what are you doing, Leon?
Did Elliot come into the... Okay.
Elliot's playing with Mal and DOG. The 3 of them are just very excited about all this.
I think I'm going to lean down to talk to Mal and then Elliot and realize DOG's there, and it's like, well, you can be involved too. Okay. Mal and Elliot. Mal has been able to look for what people don't normally see immediately, and so I think I want to, in a way that's similar to how Nina thought of the tunnels, see what might be a weak spot in the house that maybe someone of Elliot or a dog's size could maybe slip through unnoticed, and then see if we can maybe fix that quickly.
Wait, so say that again. You're gonna try to do what to the tunnels?
Oh no, it's not the tunnels. In the building itself.
Okay.
I'm trying to see if there are like secret areas that are about the size of like a dog or a small child.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
that someone or something could like creep in through or hide in.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to like locate those spaces.
Yeah, roll with advantage. That's great.
Lovely. I have the child and 2 dogs. Seven.
Fantastic. All right. Well, they do find a crawl space. It's maybe not like, it's not enough for like a large group of people or a bunch of adults to like hole up in, but it might be good for the dogs and the kid if it comes down to it. But also, Thomasina has a bunch of dynamite in this crawl space. We don't. It's not even clear if she remembers it's there. There's a bunch of dynamite, a goodly amount stacked up, and Elliot just walks out with a stick of dynamite, and says nothing, mutely like holds it up toward you.
Thank you, Elliot. What a good job you've done, Thomasina.
Second clue, you have some dynamite. Let me check in with...
Can I check something quickly?
Yeah.
The floating clues that we've accumulated so
here.
far, the glass, they can be used. Okay.
Although the yearbook one says can be used for Odyssey Mystery. Is that only for the Odyssey Mystery? Is that in addition to?
Oh, I'd have to go back and check my notes. What does it say here?
It says, the La Fresca yearbook for 1997 has us in it. It can be used for Odyssey Mystery.
Oh, it can be. Oh, it could. That was just to say that like the floating clues can also be used on the eventual Odyssey Mystery.
Oh, right. Okay. Oh, I might save that then. Actually, no. The book from Lumeria and Hieronymus Whately the Younger.
Astral projection.
Yes, astral projection, pure white signal.
Could be very helpful.
I'm thinking, I'm wondering, can I use my latchkey move and use the book to do some research to see if there's anything about the Great Hungers in there, in specifically the Bone Wolves and how they've been defeated before, because the big man has mentioned the Bone Wolves before. If this is a repeating occurrence, maybe there's something in there about...
I think that's a really fantastic plan. So the book was a clue or a...
the book was a clue.
It was a clue.
Go ahead and use your you never know what you're going to get move.
Okay.
But the book itself is not technically speaking, a corner of the house item. But it is a great justification for what you're about to do. So
fantastic. Brilliant.
It can be a clue for the mystery, and then you can just get more clues right now. So just roll.
Yeah, that would be absolutely. Yeah. Okay.
This roll basically ties it into the mystery solution.
That's exactly right,
What am I rolling with?
Reason.
What was my reason? Oh, son of a bitch. I use a key of the child.
What'd you get?
4. I burned that key of the child. Okay, so is there anything in the book that would point us towards the Night of the Bone Wolves having happened before, or a plan that was used before that defeated them?
I'll give you your clues right now. There's no specific reference to the Night of the Bone Wolves. However, the book does have some instructions for what they call quick astral projection, meaning putting yourself in a state to astral project without much preparation. They warn it's very dangerous. That's your first clue. Your second clue is the book also has instructions for how to create pocket dimensions to trap or do battle with people from the other side.
I think there's a moment where Nina figures this out, or translates it from maybe something in the back of her brain. That reptile thing knows what each of these means. She looks at Leon and JJ and is like, we can create pocket dimensions. I need you to tell me that that's not insane. And I need you to tell me that you believe me.
I believe you.
Okay. Right. Okay, we can create pocket dimensions. What the fuck is happening?
Yeah, JJ opens the door and just says, "Pocket what?"
So you're all doing that while the old timers are like, nailing up the windows as best they can with boards. They all have guns and stuff, so that could be helpful. Leon's got a bunch of dynamite. There's a bunch of dynamite. Nina's making preparations for how to do quick astral projection and maybe create a pocket dimension to do something with these creatures. JJ, the camera reveals much. For starters, the smoking pole has very prominently, like on the top of it by its sign, like kind of looming over, a sun, like a medallion of a sun. And when you train the camera on it, you can actually see, because it's a video camera, recall, you can see on the image and the little screen that, you can see the wandering monolith rising up behind the building. You can also see that there are quite a lot of brushed silver panels and mirrors and little hanging glass objects on the porch and balcony of the building. They're almost illuminated by looking through the camera. It's like the big man is showing you directly what he wants you to see. First clue, the sun. Second clue, reflecting things, reflections. You've racked up quite a few clues already. What are we up to? 6, 7, maybe?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 total.
7,
But we could also potentially use either of the two floating clues, the glass pyramid and the La Fresca yearbook picture as well, maybe to pull us to 9 if we needed to. But I would love to be able to use those for the TV Odyssey mystery.
I think I've got a theory already. I've got a theory that would use 2 of the floating clues. If people are interested, or whether we want to do any more preparations, whether we want to do some combat
for the TV Odyssey mystery.
No, for
the Night of the Bone Wolves. I've got a theory for TV Odyssey that relies on both of those. So,
so to be clear, you can only Odyssey clues can be used to answer the Odyssey question. There will be a mystery after that, and that's what the floating clues can be used for. So for answering that,
got you. Okay. In which case, yeah, absolutely. Okay. As all of this is happening, as it's all getting a lot, as Nina is frantic, she's diving through this book, she's trying to keep track of Thomasina and everyone, and there's guns everywhere, which is not her cup of tea. I think she really quickly just grabs JJ and Leon and just like holds them for a minute, and it's just like, just tell me something that like you liked as a kid. Just tell me something. Tell me anything that brought you joy, brought you happiness, that you remember as a kid. Right? Just tell me. Like I fighting fantasy books. I love fighting fantasy books. They always made me feel safe, and they always made me think I had a plan. What did you guys think? She's trying to trigger the nostalgic move with both of them now.
A very desperate nostalgic move.
Oh, absolutely. There is just this sort of frantic desperation in her eyes, like she's losing her mind, and she just needs to be grounded, and she is looking desperately at the two of you for something.
I think JJ looks at Leon as if to say, I think she might be losing it here. Let's kind of just play along in this. We're all scared. And I say, yeah, I had a big stack of Fangoria magazines. And the bits that I liked the most in those were like the special effects stuff. And you got to see the greats, you got to see Stan Winston, Greg Nicotero, you got to see them doing all their horror makeup, all the monster makeup. I loved it. I loved flicking through those. Now, in real life, I see blood, I'm on the floor, I'm passing out. But that stuff, that's what I remember.
I mean, I liked games and stuff. Yeah. And he looks at Nina for a moment. I liked watching Bob Ross paint sometimes to calm down. He just has like this really soothing voice, and he doesn't get upset about things, and he can change problems or mistakes into something beautiful. And I really liked watching that. It's kind of hard to be the kid that watches Bob Ross sometimes, but it was soothing and calming, and he had a good energy about him. Does that help?
Nina's not trembling anymore. I think it was hard to be the kids we were. I think all of that made it better. I think, Bob Ross helped show you a way out. Maybe, he gave you a way out, an outlet. Fangoria, the depictions of the flesh, all of that. It was something for you to channel into, right? Channel a love and a passion and whatnot. Fighting fantasy let me see the foundations of everything I was standing on. If we just keep that in our minds, maybe we can defeat this night, right? We can step through the doorway and it'll all be fine. But just remember that, and remember who we are, and remember we will be fine. We'll still exist in the morning, right? We'll still exist.
Yeah. And I think Leon will look at JJ, knowing the video that they were watching just before they came here. Yeah. It'll be fine.
Okay. So with that nostalgic move, I was trying to clear the doorway. Thank you.
Any other conditions to clear?
I was trying to. Well, there was the Konami code, the labyrinth, maybe, or Bob Ross, a taste for it.
Yeah.
Potentially there for Leon.
I don't know if I actually brought. I'm not trying to clear the labyrinth. I'm just not. I've spiritually given up. No, I've given up.
It's gone too long. It's too late now.
I feel abused.
JJ, any conditions to clear?
Yeah, I'll clear Fine Flesh. I think the mention of the special effects makeup and the real world and fake viscera. Get rid of that.
You all get to define a clue too. Something that might occur to you as you're having this conversation.
Something to do with the reflections that was mentioned earlier. It's almost like the Great Hungers don't exist here, but occasionally they do. This idea that existence isn't permanent in Dagoya County, it flits. It phases in and out, but you have to look at it right and you have to remember it right. Something like that.
I wonder whether the clue is just off that. To get the Hungers to arrive, we have to remember them, like collectively.
Yes.
Like that's how we get them to appear, essentially.
Oh, and you get them to appear on your terms, I guess, essentially, right? Yeah, that's pretty good.
Like banishing the 1,000 Arms of Grief was saying its name. This is the reverse, and we say the names and they appear. that they've been remembered in that way.
Intriguing.
Okay.
That's 8 clues then? That's flat roll once you make your plan. Unless you have something else to add.
I think we can add, if we're not going to use them for the TV Odyssey question, which we've got the clues for, then if we use the glass pyramid paperweight as well, I think I've got some sort of workable theory.
Okay, so that's 9 clues then?
I can't tell you how absolutely terrifying it is to speed run a mystery. This is awful.
You're doing great. It's not even been 30 minutes.
I know, yeah, you're making great time, yeah. I am very excited to hear what the plan is. So you have, what did we say, 9 clues?
Yeah, 9 clues. But before we get into this plan, Jason, can we just have a slight clarification? If you would please name said Great Hungers, because we've forgotten who they are.
It's David Tilbert. It is Happy Jack, the puppet. It is the Blam Kids, all of them, and Cousin Dolores.
It was 4. We were on it. Yes. Cool.
We were trying to give ourselves a 5th one to make it harder, but okay. So here's the thing. I think that we were told in the vision that we were to call on the Wandering Monolith when we needed him most. I think if the Wandering Monolith comes to kind of stand guard over the smoking pole, the light from his sunhead,
yeah,
will hit the reflection things, and we will be able to channel his light and power through the glass pyramid paperweight.
Love it. He probably gave you that, right? Like, yeah, back in the day. Yeah.
Using instructions from the book by Lunaria and Hieronymus Whately, Nina has very quickly grokked how to open pocket dimensions. We have to open a pocket dimension, and we have to astrally project the Power Ranger inside, who we will avatar to fight the Great Hungers.
Okay. Oh, you're gonna like Pokemon.
and the Power Ranger has dynamite. So that is roughly where I got to, and I kind of feel like I need you guys to just really bring it home.
I wondered if the dynamite didn't have something to do with like getting the brick wall down from the tunnels if you need it, or or something like that. But
no, Jason, that's far too reasonable.
Give it to a ghost child and send him into a pocket dimension to fight a puppet.
That's the obvious use. Yeah.
Oh boy. Well,
I feel like it's a good start. I do like the idea of the sun and kind of focusing the sun. I was definitely like dropping a lot of that hints on you, right? But I guess like, what does it do once you've done that? Like, is it just like does the power of the sun hurt them or something? Is it a weapon? Is that the idea?
I think we can, because we can name them into existence. We can put them in a dimension where they will be weakened, I think. So his power opens the dimension for us, and we can, this might be a crazy idea, but recast them into different Odyssey tapes. So they lose their power. We can take Happy Jack and put him in affirmations and the other way around and fight them in those other tapes.
Right. Okay. So, I'm feeling this. And so let's see, let's take a look. We've got, so using the sun, the reflections, the glass, that basically you have the power of the sun as a way of like piercing the veil, essentially. That's interesting. What is the like, I guess, is the idea that the sun traps them so that you can then do the ritual to like put them in the pocket dimension, or does
Yeah,
it
like
stun them or something? Like what happens?
Sort of under the full force of the sun, they're disabled. They're not able to work as they usually would. The night of the Bone Wolves, they work best in the dark.
Yeah.
They're drained of their power.
Yeah.
It
So
drains their
weakened.
powers.
They're weakened.
Okay.
Like that. And then you can create the pocket dimension, and the quick astral projection, I think, is part of that in the book. Okay, so that's interesting. That's good. That leaves the tunnels, the dynamite, and calling on the hungers. We had that one too. So that leaves the tunnels and the dynamite. I mean, I do think there's this like situation where I kind of feel like if you have to fight these things, you're gonna have to fight them in the pocket dimension, and maybe one of you has to, or all of you, or maybe it is Elliot. I don't know, but what do we think for the tunnels? And
I think the tunnels are our backup way
backup
out.
plan. Okay.
Yeah. If it all goes to hell, if for whatever reason we're not able to defeat the hungers, if we're not able to, it's our saving grace. We can use the remaining dynamite to blow the tunnels open and escape, and face the chitinous creature that lurks there head on instead. But
you have lots of dynamite, so you could also throw Elliot into the and blow up the pocket dimension with dynamite. And I'm sure that's great for the universe.
I'm sure nothing bad will happen if we arm a child with dynamite. Sorry, a ghost child. And see what happens.
It's super effective.
That's the plan.
Well, okay.
Oh my god.
I mean, I don't hate it. I think it's interesting. I think it's going to be really. I think depending on how your role goes, there's going to be a lot of like probably battle up to that point, right? If the role goes very poorly, it's going to be a pretty tough fight regardless. Interesting.
Is there I'm not. So I was thinking about Archimedes, right?
As one does.
No, because like with the reflecting, because I was thinking about like Egyptians using like panels to reflect light in things, and then I was thinking about Archimedes because there was a thing in the 2nd century where it was supposed to be like he made like a heat ray to destroy ships with fire using like the focused power of the sun. So I was just wondering if we taking the projected sun head of the wandering monolith and aiming it at these panels, angling them in such a way that they concentrate their force into said glass pyramid, which will then split the light into several different waves. If we could then use that as a targeted weapon against them more than as a means of entering into this different dimension.
I think that's what we settled on at the end, right? Was like it would be used to like stun them essentially so that you could then complete the ritual, right? And that makes sense to me in so far as any of this makes sense.
or is because I think, Wren, correct me if I'm wrong here, but you're saying more, instead of using the sun more as a power to weaken them and then open a pocket dimension and then fight them, actually use the sun and the reflection to kill them,
to blast them.
So why don't we just wind that back a little bit and say that because we can summon the hungers, we have to remember the hungers to hit them with the sun's power and send them into the pocket dimension and then seal it closed. Like we don't fight them in the pocket dimension. This is the fight, I guess. Is that what we're saying?
Well, I was just saying.
I think it's all interesting. Yeah, they're all great ideas.
Yeah. This is Plan B.
You could be improvising too, right?
In case,
like,
in case Plan A doesn't work with stunning them and sending them to the pocket dimension, then we just use the concentrated power of the sun to kill them directly.
This has I'm opening a pocket dimension. I've only done this once before. Written all over it.
So, in general, it sounds like, Nina, you're going to be on pocket dimension duty. Is that a fair statement?
Seems like it. Yeah.
Okay, and then JJ is going to be
ready.
on sun weapon duty, and that means, Leon, you're you're with the old timers defending the place until this can all go down.
Sick. Chekhov's,
Right.
Chekhov's flare gun
Indeed,
is gonna happen.
Exactly. All right. Let's get a die roll on the table and see if this is a good plan or not. And so we are looking at a +1 here. Who wants to roll it?
I feel mostly responsible, so I'll do it. With the +1, that's a 7.
Okay. It could have been worse.
Oh, how many keys of the child have we each got left at this point? I just want to check.
Oh, you can't use them on this. There's no way of bumping this up.
There's no way to bump it?
No.
You just what? Okay, cool. Great. I'm glad we left that to you, JJ. Well done.
Just raw dogging it.
So
No!
actually, that's not 100% true. You can bump up answer the question, but only if everyone marks a key of desolation, or if you mark a mystery key, but this one doesn't have one. So
I'm sorry. We just went into that knowing that we could have lost both Leon and JJ. And we were super fine with that? Are you joking?
You said knowing.
Okay,
The knowing it's a load-bearing word.
It's a very load-bearing word. Okay.
But
if I had known that, I think we would have.
succeeded.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
It will be a bit of a fight. It will take some doing, but it will get done. You're going to discover there were many flaws in your plan. It will maybe generally work, and so I encourage you to pursue its many elements and aspects as you are able. But one of the first mistakes you made was thinking that you have any control whatsoever of when they actually show up. Indeed, I think we find the three of you up on that balcony overlooking the street. The old folks and the dogs are downstairs. Maybe, JJ, you're like moving the mirrored panels in place or something, right? You have not called on the big man yet, but you're getting the things in place. I don't know, maybe you're all having a cigarette. I don't know what you're doing, but you're up there. When you see the old woman with her tatty red wig and wearing what looks to be like a little, like a flapper dress. She's down on the street. You're looking down at her, and she's turning in a circle. Isn't it rich? Aren't we a pair? Me down here on the ground, you in midair. But where are the clowns? There ought to be clowns. Send in the clowns. Oh, wait. They're already here. You immediately hear gunfire downstairs. The dogs are barking, losing their shit. The back window or door or something is being smashed. You hear the old folks screaming. The night of the Bone Wolves is upon you. What do you all do?
It's Cousin Dolores was talking about clowns. Clowns were made for children. Nina turns to Elliot and pulls the Voltrons out of a little satchel that she's got on, and finds Elliot, and it's just like, I need you to do what you can against the things downstairs. If I give you this, would you go and deliver them some of this? And she puts a stick of dynamite in his hand and lights it.
What's gonna happen? What JJ and Leon, how do you react to this plan?
I think I'm kind of, JJ is kind of waving his hands to try and attract the attention of the wandering monolith and get the sun to start shining on the smoking pole. But like, he turns and he sees this, and I don't know whether or not he could see that plan gone through with, and a ghost child, pushed off the roof with a stick of dynamite. And I wonder if this is all right with everyone.
Well, I
else.
gathered he was running back downstairs to where.
It was more to go and deliver it to Cousin Dolores.
Yeah, I wonder whether anyone would be fine with me taking the dynamite out of his hand and just throwing it at Dolores, thinking that we might need this small ghost boy as we go forward. I don't want to be like the responsible babysitter, but I don't think we should be giving this kid. He might have a nut allergy, so he shouldn't be having dynamite anyway, to be fair.
I think the dynamite's lit. The kid takes off downstairs. JJ, you can go after him.
I'm going after him.
Leon, what are you doing?
Leon, oh god. I am going to use the flare gun and shoot Cousin Dolores's red wig on fire.
Very good, very good. That'll be our first night move. What are you afraid is going to happen if you fail?
I am afraid that all I'm going to do to her is make her upset at me.
It's worse than that. She's going to clamber up to the balcony. She's going to kill you straight away. And then she's going to go get to the business of tearing down your other defenses. This is going to be with composure.
Composure. Ooh, okay. Okay. That's a 12.
Nice. Good. I think she's getting ready to run into the ground floor or run around to the back. It sounds like they've breached the back. But you can light her on fire. I don't know if it's going to kill her or not, but you can describe what happens.
I think Leon watches JJ take off after Elliot, looks, tries to summon the courage that he's been trying to summon for days, and takes the flare gun out of his backpack. Oh, if I've ever needed a steady hand, it's for this. Okay. And I think as he fires the flare gun off, there's just a cloud of smoke, a trail behind it. It's not meant for this. And it hits Dolores square in her forehead, knocks her off her feet a bit, and her face and her wig just start to burn as this flare just continues to try to momentum its way through her. And then Leon's just looking like, oh shit, oh that hit, great or not great, I don't know, it's bad.
She goes wailing. She's on fire and she goes running down the street. She's off the board for now. We don't know where she's at, what's happening to her. JJ, you have to like push your way past a few of the old timers who are going back and up and down the stairs. They're like reloading their weapons. They're like in the thick of the fight, right? You don't even know what they're fighting. By the time you get past them and get downstairs, you see that Elliot is in a circle with the Blam kids playing hot potato with the dynamite. One of the kids says, "Hey, you want to join us? It's a really cool game. It's hot potato. Hot potato, hot potato, hot potato, hot potato." And they're like throwing the dynamite in a circle down there in the middle of the tobacco shop. Gunfire going off, old people running around. In the background, you can hear this. What do you do, JJ?
So JJ is immediately drawn towards Elliot, who is in the middle of this circle chasing this dynamite around. And JJ just goes for Elliot, just tries to get him out of danger. And just as he comes up behind Elliot and reaches out and puts his hands on Elliot's shoulders, there's like the banging of someone at the back wall trying to get in. And just for a second, JJ is in the lockup facility and is hearing his dad banging on the shutters of the lockups, and then he's all of a sudden back out of it, and he's holding the dynamite, and the fuse is real low. And he's seen enough movies to not be begrudged a kiss offline, and I think he is going to see if he can see David Tilbert. Can I see him anywhere?
No, not yet. There are a bunch of Blam kids though. They're all over the place. Even the ones that are not like in hot potato. For example, there are two of them that are playing kickball with Babyface's head right now. So that's a thing going on.
I think that JJ holds the dynamite up, gets all of their attention, and says, "Hey kids, everybody blam," and he just launches the dynamite into
a cluster of them.
Yeah,
very good. Night move. What do you pray is going to happen?
I'm afraid that I'm going to go everybody but, and then I'm going to detonate.
You're not going to get your line out. This is going to be with it's composure.
That's a 4.
Hey kids, everybody, boom! There's an explosion that rocks the building. Nina, you are thrown on your feet. Leon, you are hurtled off the balcony. There's glass and wood everywhere. There are a couple of Blam kids, Leon, crawling towards you, except they're not crawling towards you with their own hands and feet. They're crawling towards you with the white legs sticking out of their stomachs. The creatures wearing the Blam kids as skin suits crawling toward you. Unless, of course, you're turning a key, JJ.
As much as I'd like to participate in watching all this, I think I will turn a key of the child for next time.
Fantastic. Instead, please describe how you can take out a good portion of the Blam kids.
I think, to JJ's surprise, they all, as the dynamite hits the floor, they all start clawing at each other to get to it, as if that's the potato, and they're all trying to win this thing. And he watches as kind of arms and legs go flying, as there's this kind of amalgamous mass of teeny bopper children like whipped up into a murderous frenzy. There's like mists of blood and geysers of viscera kind of shooting everywhere, and at the top of this kind of huddle, this mountain of disgusting blood-soaked children, Tammy Lou pops up and has the dynamite here, and with a half mouth says, "I got the potato."
There's an explosion. Blam kid guts all over the place. Your complication on your 7 to 9 is the fact that you now have swarms of, chitinous creatures covered in gore skittering towards you, JJ. Nina, what's the plan with the pocket dimension?
Okay, so we've established the dynamite was maybe not my brightest moment.
There was an explosion. But the two of you will be able to get to your feet.
Okay.
Fine.
I think Nina gets to her feet and is going to head out to the balcony. Can she see any? Like Cousin Dolores was coming at them from the dark. Are any more coming?
You
at
can
them
see
from that direction?
the fire of Cousin Dolores running down the street. It eventually turns a corner to where you can't see it, and then I think you do see David Tilbert. He's kind of just like, he's wearing like a big white cable knit sweater and boat shoes and chinos, and he's just walking down the street very casually, kind of like looking and assessing the situation. And he looks up at you and says, "Shall we visit the 3 pillars?"
Nina does not know how astral projection works, nor does she know how creating a pocket dimension works.
Is that a self-help book? I've written several myself, all self-published, unfortunately.
I wonder if you've read this one. And she pulls out the Tome of Hatred.
Oh. And does what?
I'd like to think the Tome of Hatred came from the malevolent spirit.
Sure, yeah. The demon.
Which came from somewhere.
Yeah.
I would like to think it came from a pocket dimension.
Is that your focus?
That's my focus. I've opened it up, and I'm reading through it. And as I'm sort of gripping the pages and looking at David Tillman, words that have no meaning and do not sound human, they sound like chittering, they sound like growls and noises at the back of Nina's throat, begin to emanate throughout. And 3 black pillars emerge from the earth and surround David Tillman. As Nina, within that sort of 3-pillar structure, creates a sort of triangle that traps David Tillman, and all of a sudden, that strange pulled back face, that incredibly fit physique, that suit that is just too perfect, almost turns sideways as if he's been made 2D, and then zaps out of existence. And for a second, Nina doesn't quite know where he's gone, but she knows he's not there anymore.
Well, let's see. We're going to roll the night move with sensitivity. What are you afraid is going to happen if just to start, your plan of using the Tome of Hatred as your focus for the astral projection ritual does not work?
Well, I'm afraid instead of banishing David Tillman, I just summon the 1,000 Arms of Grief.
How's it going to be worse than this? I kind of feel like no matter what happens, because you didn't weaken him with the sun plan yet, or you didn't weaken him in any way, I think no matter what happens, you're kind of going to be on his terms, and if you miss, you're just killed and in another dimension.
Okay, great. And I'm rolling with sensitivity.
Sensitivity. Let's take a look at your conditions too. Bones of the Earth. Oh, he's of that. Go ahead and roll with disadvantage, please.
So I was going to use the Tome of Hatred as the item to give. Yep. So it's just a flat roll.
2d6 plus whatever you got.
It's 5.
Well, things are going great. You pull out the Tome of Hatred. You begin like reading the instructions. You're in a hurry. By the time you finish, David Tilbert's actually up on the balcony with you, and he says, "Hey, let me help you out with that." And then he touches you on the shoulder. And then you find yourself in a vast, inky black space. A little island, perhaps, in a vast, dark lake of blood. There are 3 titanic stone pillars arrayed before you. Hanging from the stone pillars are the bodies, dozens, maybe hundreds of bodies speared onto the pillar. David Tilbert walks amongst them. He is naked, wearing a feathered headdress like some sort of ancient king, using a stone dagger to slice the throats of the people on the pillar as they scream in ecstasy. And all around you, bodies rise up out of the lake of blood. And they push you toward him. And as they push you toward him, he says, "We are the acolytes of the old ways, of the old religion. We were here before your kind was even the tiniest mote of stardust. And we have come to feast upon what is ours." And they press you up against the pillar. And when David Tilbert, whose real name I cannot pronounce, slices you open, you welcome it. Unless you're turning a key.
Yeah, I think I might. I'm going to... I'm going to mark the Wandering Monolith.
Everything is as I described, except you're not killed automatically. You are just there with David Tilbert in this little dimension with the 3 pillars. And you will have to deal with him. Let's go back to the smoking pole. Leon, what are you doing right now?
So I was on the balcony. Did I see Nina get vanished by David Tilbert?
Oh, I kind of imagine that like you had like scrambled off by that point, but it's
okay.
Yeah, and just in the chaos of everything.
Okay.
The dogs are downstairs going nuts, right? We don't know what they're doing. Hopefully they're eating chitinous creatures, so we'll see.
Hopefully. Okay, so I don't see that happen to Nina. I would have run down after the explosion. Yeah, right, that makes sense. What is my dog doing?
Like just wringing the shit out of a white insect covered in blood.
Sick. Okay. Oh God. I am going to. Jesus Christ. What can I use?
JJ, you're down there too. You've got like these insects that are kind of like, I mean, they're kind of small enough to where you can kind of kick them away and stomp them away as long as you keep on the move. What are you doing right now?
I am currently running towards a little red Power Ranger who is trying to show me that he has a human hand that he's wanting to give to me as a gift. And I brush it out of his hand and I pick him up and I've got him under my arm and I'm like, come on, short round. And I'm climbing up onto the bar and I am feeling perhaps the sun's warmth starting to reach the smoking pole, and I am running around like an idiot in a horror movie trying to get mobile phone reception with a small glass pyramid trying to catch the light that I'm hoping will come through any moment.
That's good. We can kind of you can kind of see the sun like in the night sky, like there's like sunlight, like the big man has come. Maybe it's at the precise moment when Jess marked the Wandering Monolith, right? the big man is now here. And that's good. Well, let's give you something to fight. You both begin to hear first a rumbling and then a wild tearing racket as the roof of this place is flying off. Just crack, 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 crack. Slats are flying off, tearing off, exposing the middle part of the smoking pole to the sky. And looming over the hole, looking down at you, is a titanic Happy Jack puppet staring down at you. It moves its hands, its little wooden hands, over the hole and begins waving its hands back and forth. And of the old people that are left, they all begin screaming because their veins and nervous system and musculature begins ripping out of their flesh and flying up like puppet strings, and Happy Jack is controlling them. They are being controlled by Happy Jack, these flesh puppets. They're screaming in pain, but that's not stopping them from grabbing their knives and guns and training them on you. JJ, what's the plan?
I grab Leon. I pull Leon up onto the bar, and all JJ is thinking about is the moment in Face Off where there's a slow motion balletic shootout going on, and the kid has Somewhere Over the Rainbow playing on his headphones and is completely oblivious to it. And JJ puts his hands on Leon's face and just says, remember the tape. Remember what we saw with the puppet and Lucy and the lessons and the squirrel. We have to remember them to defeat them. And I will clasp Leon's hands over the glass pyramid and hope this does something.
Well, we shall see. Who's doing the role here? You or Leon?
I'm happy to take responsibility for my dumb idea.
Okay.
What are you afraid is going to happen at this? What are you trying to accomplish, first of all?
I'm trying to stick to the plan that was watertight. I'm trying to stick to the plan, and like, because obviously I don't know what's happened to Nina. I'm hoping that the big man's son will hit the reflective things. We've remembered this thing into existence. That somehow I have faith that this will work. If it goes, and the sun's beam will in some way either zap the big puppet with the creepy marionettes, the skin marionettes, off to a pocket dimension, or just weaken it sufficiently so we can get away. That's what I'm trying to do. What I'm afraid is going to happen is none of that, and we're going to end up in this Punch and Judy show being manipulated by our vascular parts, and I'm not into it personally.
Yeah, it's worse than that. You at least won't survive. Leon will get a chance to fight back. Let's roll with... I think it's reason for the intelligence of your plan.
So glad I spent that point on sensitivity. But it's okay, because I got an 8.
Nice. This is going to work. You will be able to train the beam of sun from the prism directly into Happy Jack's wooden head and light him on fire and destroy him. But first, Leon has to keep you safe from the marionetted old people who are training their weapons on you. Leon, what do you do?
Okay. Leon is going to take his gravity-defying carton of the dream, and I'm hoping that, because we established that when you try to pour it, it goes the opposite direction. I'm hoping that if I try to spread this on the floor, for example, it's going to fly up towards them and either hit them in the face or the mouth. I'm aiming for their mouths and trying to wrench some of Happy Jack's mind manipulation
Oh,
away from them.
Oh, I see. So you're trying to get the ice cream to hit Happy Jack so he loses control of the puppets?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Got it. That's a great plan. It's going to be reason for quick thinking.
Okay. Reason. Okay. And my dream.
What do you fear is going to happen if you fail?
If I fail, he's gonna eat the ice cream and say it tastes nice. Be unaffected.
We'll just see how it goes.
Well,
I'm not sure how it's worse.
It goes well.
Okay.
Because that's 10.
Okay, nice. First, describe how you adequately distract Happy Jack, and then I will let Matt describe how Happy Jack is destroyed.
I think as JJ takes Leon's hands and puts them on the pyramid, he rips them away very quickly and just says, 1 second, reaches into his backpack. He might as well just leave it open at this point. Takes out the carton of the dream, gives it a little kiss. It's like, you better fucking work. Rips it open and then tosses it, the whole carton, down towards the ground where it bounces and then flies straight up. It's like, I have good aim. It's been established that I have great aim. And it does happen that way because it hits right in the center of Happy Jack's velvety puppet tongue. And he just goes,
It's enough to distract him so that the puppets do not attack you. JJ, please describe how you destroy Happy Jack.
JJ is kind of closed. His eyes are closed and his hands are clamped around this glass pyramid, and then he opens them and sees that nothing has happened. This is fucking stupid. He was going to get everyone killed, and he sees what Leon has done, and sees the distraction that's happening, and sees the marionettes kind of go limp and start kind of hanging down, and then that's when he sees like the joke from The Simpsons where they work out when it's time that the bar opens, when the sunlight comes through the door and passes the line. He sees the sun come through the saloon doors, or the portal window in the saloon doors. He grabs the Power Ranger under his arm, but as he does, just for a second, he's under an adult's arm and he's screaming. And then he's back in the smoking pole and he's doing something that he doesn't think that he's initially capable of. He is using the dangling forms of these old timers as stepping stones as he jumps off the bar with a red Power Ranger under his arm. And as he steps on the last one, it's probably Tits, because why not? He goes sprawling to the floor, protects Elliot as he rolls onto his back, and then his hand just kind of moves into the sunlight, and we see the power of the monolith firing up and past the Happy Jack puppet. It misses, and JJ's like, fuck, what have I done? And then in the kind of like the hazy morning sky, we see two glowing eyes, and we see Lucy appear behind Happy Jack, and she reaches in and grabs him and says, now I'll teach you a lesson. And she drags him off into the desert.
Fantastic. That is Happy Jack destroyed. The Blam kids are destroyed. Nina, you are on the banks of a bloody lake, with standing between the screaming pillars, the three pillars, and David Tilbert, as a great Aztec king of old, is standing before you. What do you do?
Nina takes out the flashlight from her satchel and holds it down by her side, and she is very briefly struck by how much this looks like a dream she once had. She looks to her sides, but the two familiar figures aren't there. So she knows she's on her own for this one. I don't know if this is gonna work. Can I summon the big man through the flashlight? As if, like, his radiance pulls through?
Since you just marked the Wandering Monolith, I'll let you do that. Yeah, it'll still just be a night
Okay.
move, but I'm curious what your plan is.
I think in the back of Nina's head, every time that she was alone in that big house when she was a child, every time that she was left alone when she needed someone the most, the solace that she had was always in the things that kept her grounded. That was fighting fantasy, that was reading under the covers, and that was relying on herself. And this flashlight has always been more to her than just a light in the dark. It's been her standing up for herself and growing up. And in this moment, that's what she needs more than anything. And in the panic of giving Elliot the dynamite, in the panic of just trying to do something to prove that maybe she can stand on her own 2 feet and that she's not that little kid anymore, she thinks. She remembers JJ muttering about reflections, the light, and the monolith. And she turns the flashlight on and turns to David Tilbert and shines it bright in his eyes and summons the big man.
This is the night move. What are you afraid is going to happen if you fail to destroy David Tilbert?
I'm afraid the 3 pillars that David is stood by represent 3 of us. And I'm afraid these 3 pillars crumble and are never rebuilt.
Intriguing. I'll stick with that. We'll see where that goes. Go ahead and roll with sensitivity.
It's a 10. It's a 10. It's a 10. Plus 1. It's an 11.
Describe how you destroy David Tilbert.
As the panic sort of ebbs from her system, and that calm, that knowledgeable calm that Nina has that centers herself in a world, whether it be a fantasy world, whether it be just the reality that she faces every day, from the trauma through to the horrors of Dagoya County. She centers herself and turns the flashlight on, but doesn't immediately point it at David Tillman. Slowly and with shuddering breaths, she walks up to him, toe to toe with this man who looks like he's stuck in a wind tunnel, and looks him dead in the eye. There was a time where everything you are would have terrified me. You acolytes of old religion, you things that stood for so much, you would have scared me to the bones. I was so alone, but now I'm not. My friends have showed me I'm capable of way more than anyone ever gave me credit for. I'm the kid that survived. And if I can survive everything that's already happened to me, I can survive a horrendous old man with too much surgery and not enough substance to hold himself up. And also, Bethany deserves a better employer. And she shines the light directly in his eyes.
I think right before you blast him, he says, "This is great. We're having such a breakthrough." And then blast. Everything is calm, JJ. You can stomp out the rest of the little bugs. They're just little larval versions of whatever these creatures are. Only a couple of the old folks are still alive. The sun is still there, burning in the night sky. At one point, JJ, you find yourself, maybe you step outside, maybe you go round back for something, but you find yourself cornered by Cousin Dolores. Her skin melted on her face. The wig melted, like the wig is like kind of melted onto the side of her face, right? Her dress is all singed. And she goes, I don't care if the sun don't shine. And the sun goes out. I get my lovin' in the evening time when I'm with my baby. And she opens her mouth wide to reveal rows of razor-sharp teeth, and she leaps. What do you do?
I need to try and drag her back into the smoking pole. I need to get her so we can all focus on her if Nina's going to rejoin us at any point. So I think that might be diving through a window, or in other ways just smashing through a door.
Trying to get in. Yeah, that's good. I like it. I will let your roll stand for dealing with her completely. Just describe what your plan is. You don't have the sun anymore. She clicked that off.
We've still got dynamite.
You do.
Where's the entrance to the tunnel?
It's outside because there's a little shed outside. So
let's rewind.
Yeah.
Let's rewind. As she's about to kind of pounce, I'm gonna pull out the bull mask that Atafoy wore, and I'm gonna put it on, and I'm gonna say to her, whilst holding a piece of dynamite, can you find your way to the center? And I'm gonna make her chase me into the tunnels.
That's great. I love it. We can say that as part of your preparations, you tore the wall down so you can get down into the tunnels right away. This is going to be the night move. It's a big move. What are you afraid is going to happen if you fail?
I'm afraid that we are both... I'm afraid that... Hang on. I'm afraid that I'm going to say... Can you find your way to this? And the dynamite will blow again.
That's just old dynamite. Who knows, right?
Yeah.
It's worse than that. She will then go and deal with the other latchkeys. Please go ahead and roll with sensitivity since you're putting on the bull mask.
Yeah, and I'll mark the bull mask for advantage as well.
Fantastic. Go ahead.
9.
Mm. You can do this. The complication is she follows you. The dynamite does not go off. She's no longer a danger. That's because you're both lost in the tunnels.
In the spirit of that, can I bump the roll up by marking the chromatic desert?
You sure can.
You can no longer be perceived by other characters, and all memory of you is erased. It's like you never existed. You can continue to conduct investigations, but the clues you find are only available if you, as a player, narrate how the other latchkeys discover the information in a piece of media, book, film, music, or other recording.
None of that happens. She never came back. You were never here. Nina and Leon, you two crazy kids, you came to New Mexico for the summer to figure out what happened to TV Odyssey. You've been through a lot, the two of you, and Mal. And tonight was the biggest of them all, of all the things you've been through. But you did it. You defeated the 3 great hungers. And now it's time to finally figure out what happened to TV Odyssey. Your question is, what happened to TV Odyssey? You have 7 clues. A quote, and yet in the eons of life in the universe, only a few grains of sand have fallen in the glass. The child, Elliot, from Escondido Street, was in the audience of Blam 03. That's interesting. The land beneath the house on 18 Escondido Street is cursed. Bad things have happened on it over the years, and the house was a way to control that badness. The tunnels and the caves are connected. We actually have a lot more context for that clue now, too, especially because of Chili Cook-Off, right? We know that the caves were created by an asteroid, all kinds of stuff, right? There appear to be malevolent insectoid creatures connected to all these events. Phineas Waitley, the founder of TV Odyssey, had his camera down in the tunnels and was attached to the wall via masses of magnetic tape. We have this Beowulf quote, each of us must expect an end of living in this world. Let him who may win glory. Let him who may win glory before death. Those are your 7 clues, group. We will take a 20-minute break so you can ponder the solution to the TV Odyssey question.
I have something loose and unhinged.
I feel like that's where we're
at.
First,
yeah, we're short a clue, aren't we?
We are short one Odyssey clue.
Yes.
From the I Want My Video beat.
Oh, okay, that's right. Yeah, so you do have 8. Yeah. Well, this is a great time to fill in what it is, I guess.
Wren, if you would like to.
So, we chose the Pillow Whispering tape because it featured a city that did not exist. And that is important for this.
Okay, I love it. Yeah, a city that doesn't exist. Yeah.
Okay. So, we think that what happened to TV Odyssey has something to do with the turn of the millennium.
Oh, okay.
And that's specific. So we've pulled through into the 2000s, and something drastic happened. So in my head, with everything that's happened with like Escondido Street, with a lot of the elements of Dagoya County, like the dream and things like that, there's always been this idea of another side, or another version, or Elliot thinks his parents are in the television, right?
Right.
There's nothing is gone, nothing feels permanently gone. Even the pillars that David Tilbert described, he could bring back. I think everything somehow is contained within a certain sort of space-time continuum sort of thing inside an egg timer. That one of those old sand comes down, egg timer, right? And I think instead of time being this linear progression, I think it's in Dagoya County, it's an egg timer turning and turning and turning. And all of the elements and all of the pieces are like sand in the glass. it's all the same. We're all the same people, but we are reorganized and displaced and put back down. Our memories aren't the same. We don't remember different things because every time the egg timer turns, we're a different version of ourselves. We grow up, but we don't remember high school, all three of us.
Right.
Somehow we've landed in the same pattern, but it's not quite right.
How many turns it took for that to happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
TV Odyssey was almost like the midpoint of the egg timer. Mm-hmm. It was the section that almost controlled the flow of what went in and what went out. That's why some of the horrors from the TV Odyssey tapes, like everybody remembers fireside chats, but maybe that was on the first turn of the egg timer. Because all of the other tapes, not everyone remembers, but we remember some of them. We found them on the forums. So that's not to say loads of other people don't remember them. But TV Odyssey was this gateway into this connecting element between the two sides. It was that ring point in the egg timer. I think the millennium came, and I think suddenly maybe the egg timer started turning on a different axis, and suddenly TV Odyssey didn't work anymore as a filter system.
Well, to be
TV
clear,
Odyssey's not.
TV Odyssey disappeared in '94.
I've got an explanation for that.
Okay.
Oh.
I thought ahead of this when we dropped the Millennium thing in. I think that the people who were in charge of TV Odyssey at that time were trying to get ahead of that turn. They knew the Millennium was coming. They were like end of the world culting, and they were doing some kind of ritual to protect TV Odyssey, and it fucked up. And instead of protecting a TV Odyssey against the turn, it expedited the turn. It made things worse. It opened the portal. It narrowed the center of the hourglass. Whatever happened,
so they were trying to make the switch to digital.
They were trying to switch over to digital. They were trying to go to like high fiber broadband, but they weren't quite ready. They didn't have the civils in place.
So what is it? So back to the Millennium then, because if TV Odyssey was already gone, then like what?
TV Odyssey was being phased out, I think, and then when the Millennium hit, it was gone. Or it was gone from that turn, but they didn't necessarily know what would happen in the next turn. And memories of TV Odyssey flip back, like remnants of TV Odyssey like clung on. The ritual that was done left Phineas Whiteley taped to the wall in the tunnels for eternity, like a guardian next to maybe the portal, maybe the midpoint of the egg timer. There's that horrendous guardian to try and stop anything else from coming through, but failing.
What does the camera have to do with it?
What does the camera have to do with it?
I think you know how we've gone around kind of like in this game destroying what appear to be protective seals.
Yes.
I think the Waitley camera focused on Phineas Waitley against the wall was perhaps one of the last protective seals that was supposed to keep stuff in, and I've taken the camera away.
That's interesting.
I think it was probably there as part of that protective ritual. And I think that the people or the cult behind TV Odyssey were so frightened of the Millennium incoming, they were trying to make their like doomsday preparations early, and they just beefed it. And anyone who remembers TV Odyssey from '94 were just kind of counting down to the Millennium and seeing what would happen to see if they would be protected. But I think that TV Odyssey kind of functions as one of those seals, perhaps the biggest seal. And it just wasn't there when they needed it at the turn of the Millennium.
It's really interesting. So because there is a timeline here, right? I mean, we know. So we're saying that this stuff has been happening in Decoya County, going really far back, right? We have a history of like weird stuff, right? But at some point, Mr. Waitley and his camera arrive in Decoya County. That seems intentional, like came specifically for this purpose. Set up the TV station. Was the TV station just a ruse then? Was it just like like did he have some other intention, or like that's the part I don't understand like what the TV station specifically has to do with that.
Does it like mirror the time in which like TV was a popular medium when this cult was setting up in the area? So it's like they used that medium to do their work, whatever they were doing, to kind of get their work out to as many people as possible.
I think it was an attempt at a new mechanism of containment. Like the big man gave us this whole history of like the flame keepers and the sky stone dwellers trying to keep the bone wolves at bay. And I think containing these things within the TV signal was just another mechanism to attempt to trap them in something close to our world, but just beyond it, like something that travels in our world, but in a space that is different, because TV signals are transmitted all the time. So if you can keep them in the signal, then they're close enough that they can be intercepted, but not actively engage with like humans.
Because like an egg timer within an egg timer.
Yeah, well, because it's interesting, right? Because it's kind of suggestive that like they've been kind of keeping these things, like it suggests that like there are points in time, or there have been points in time when the hungers can escape, right? When they can like escape. And clearly the big man has some kind of role in protecting against them or sealing them away. But TV Odyssey gives the world a technology that allows us to like basically like control the situation or control the flip, or to prevent that final flip from happening, right? That will allow the Great Hungers to re-enter the world. And maybe it has something to do with like literally rewinding things, or or like because it's because the Great Hungers were characters in the tapes. That feels important, right? They were characters in the tapes. It's almost like they were using the programs to like confuse and trap the entities so that they couldn't make their final flip.
And I wonder as well if the forms of those Great Hungers tells us something about how long they've been around. Like Happy Jack was a puppet, so maybe that was around, as a puppet as part of the control. Dolores is a hoofer. Do you know what I mean? From like the 20s. Yeah. So it's like maybe that's how she. And then they've finally been trapped in these tapes, essentially.
Yeah. Well, and Dolores was kind of trapped in a tape of her own, right? Because she was like the Dolores, the real Dolores, was like watching tapes of herself nonstop, right? So it's it's this interesting idea that like TV Odyssey, that Whately actually knew what he was doing, and he was like actually like creating a system to like prevent these things from escaping when the flip happens, right? But then the question is, something messed up, right? Like something clearly went pear-shaped, because TV Odyssey literally vanished, and 10 years later you all find the tapes and the Great Hungers escape, right? So yeah,
I wasn't joking about the switch to digital.
Yeah.
No, let's tie that in. Let's tie those together. It's the Millennium Bug. It's the switch to digital.
The Millennium Bug.
Millennium Bug, right? Because one of the clues is
big white Millennium Bug.
Malevolent insectoid creatures connecting the events in some of the tapes. I think the Millennium Bug corrupted the containment systems of all of these things. That's why it's everywhere. And this Millennium Bug was a physical thing that ate through.
Oh, that's interesting. What are the bugs? What do we think they are? Are they they must be some form of the Great Hungers, right? They must be some version of it.
I think they are the snakes that were killed originally back in the day, definitely.
Yeah, I think so too. I've thought that for a minute, yeah. This is not the first time they've had to deal with this. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if the switch to digital has taken, this is what's tripped them up, then previous to this, video literally killed the radio star, and then we've had basically every single iteration of this kind of public entertainment, and then this is the last bastion was public access television, and they got screwed by the internet.
Well, so I'm loving this. I think this is super cool and interesting. I just want to know what happened in 1994? Like where did the station go? Like where is the station currently? Like what happened to it?
Do you know what? I think maybe we were in the station. I think maybe when we went under the house, when we went under Rodenbecker and we followed the shoe down and we found Phineas taped to the wall, I think that's the remains.
Oh, the station's underground.
I think the station's underground.
What if the
yeah.
station's the labyrinth? What if it reconfigured into
Yeah.
the tunnels underneath the county?
Oh, that's interesting.
I think it's sort of corrupted and spread itself. It is the tunnels of Dagoya County. It's suddenly become this sort of like mass that's attempting to connect and control everything.
So basically, the technology advancement in the 90s caused them to mess up their process for keeping the Great Hungers under control with the tapes. And so, and basically, in order to like hold out a little bit longer, that they used the power of the, I don't know, like the station like kind of went into like a safety mode or something. Like it dispersed itself. Maybe the tunnels never existed before. They were just suddenly there, and everyone remembers them, but like they don't. So the tunnels at the station, that's really intriguing.
I wonder whether people did remember that, because obviously we saw the vulture and the ghost girls in the ancient tunnels. Right. I wonder if the TV Odyssey sunk into the ground and basically completed a labyrinth underneath the ground, which then kind of unlocked a whole bunch of other stuff. So maybe it was like the final piece of the jigsaw.
Yeah, but it was also like a last-ditch attempt to keep the Great Hungers trapped, though, right? It's like you're, in a sense, maybe like it's like you're down here,
like underground bunker.
Yeah. That's
The caves and the tunnels are connected. The asteroid created the first caves. The asteroid was the harbinger of everything, and TV Odyssey sinking down is the final puzzle piece. It's sort of connecting these, like the beginning and the end of everything somehow, and somehow that's created the final turn, maybe. But like this element that like TV Odyssey was not meant to sink, and yet it has. They've done everything they can to prevent it from this portal, this section that TV Odyssey is from slipping down into the tunnels. They failed to do so, and that's what's completed the doom element of it. But that's what all these rituals were doing. Maybe Phineas Whiteley wasn't taped to the side of TV Odyssey. Maybe TV Odyssey was taped to the side of Phineas Whiteley. Maybe they were trying to keep him up somehow.
It's an interesting idea. So we think that. So then our answer then, and I've accounted for so far. I've accounted for 7 of these 8 clues. The one I have not accounted for the Beowulf quote yet. The rest makes sense to me. So the idea is, what you all think happened is that there is this like repeating pattern. It's happened different times. There have been these different turns of the hourglass, so to speak. And one of those times was when the Rodenbeckers went to war with the quote quote snakes, but we think it's these insects. I think probably the insects came from the asteroid too, but I don't know if, I don't know if we have enough information to say that. But basically throughout history, going back eons, we have this like problem. And Phineas Whiteley devises a way of keeping the Great Hungers, like preventing them from coming during the next turn, which is to essentially trap them in like television, basically, which is really intriguing. Like using the Whiteley camera, which it's kind of out of character knowledge, but we know that it's a sort of artifact, right, that does weird stuff like this. So it's like, okay, uses his magic camera to essentially trap the beings in these like TV shows. But then in 1994, I guess we don't know. I still don't think we know quite what happened precisely in 1994, but we think that at some point the TV station either collapsed or sunk or somehow was transferred down into the tunnel/cave systems as a kind of like final, I don't know, like or what if
maybe
like
in 1994,
what if the Great Hungers did it? What if the Great Hungers threw the station down, right?
What if in 1994 one broke out?
Yeah, that's
one
what I'm wondering.
Containment,
yeah,
and then
like in
triggered.
94, like the Great Hungers managed to collapse the station underground, which was like their first step in getting out completely. That leads to that leads to finding the tapes, that leads to playing the tapes, that leads to giving them their way of finally escaping the cavern, right? Because they came out of the cavern, remember?
They did.
Yeah.
God, what if it's Lumeria and the younger Waitley wrote a book regarding astral projection? What if that was the key? What if that's what they used to get out? Maybe it's one of the first, I guess.
I mean, they clearly knew what they were doing, right? Because, I mean, Lunaria was clearly involved in all this. So the Waitleys were clearly involved in all this. They knew what they were doing. They had a plan. They understood what they were doing. And
maybe Lumeria tricked them? Maybe Lumeria was a hunger masquerading as a person?
Yeah, could have done.
And tricked Phineas, like, oh, you know, what could what's the worst that could happen? And
so we don't know for sure how it happened, but we do think that the station is in the caves. I think that's a good answer. Like, you know, it's a good answer. What do we think about this Beowulf clue?
Each of us must expect an end of living in this world. Let him who may win glory before death.
I think Wren should be asked to explain this. They introduced it. It's on them.
It's your clue.
Listen, my desire to say a poem in a poem tape. But no, Mad Dog, I think I'm not certain of what it takes to become a hunger, but I think Mad Dog chose a different path because he blew himself up at the end of his tape rather than become a hunger. So I think there's a level of awareness, and I think I'm not sure if that is so much to us as him to the other hungers.
If Lunaria was aware enough, maybe Lunaria turned from human to hunger, and Mad Dog saw it and realized what was happening when they were making the tapes, and realized he was changing and decided to stop it, and gave a clue. Each of us must expect an end to living in this world, but he's going to meet glory before being turned into a hunger.
Did he do it?
Maybe it's the sort of like Ridlick.
Did he try to hide the station, like to like as a final like way of like trapping the great hungers down in the caves?
He blew it up. He blew it up and sank it.
Might have done. Yeah, he might have done. Maybe there's a hole in the desert somewhere where the station used to be, and it's collapsed down in
Mad Dog.
Mad Dog.
That I think I like that.
Mad Dog tried to save, like tried to like could see what was happening and tried to stop it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why there was rumor of the fire as well, because there was a fireball, because there was an explosion. That's what.
That's true. Yeah, there were some people who said it went down in a fire. Right. That's true. Yeah.
And they just assumed it because they couldn't explain it otherwise.
Yeah. Fantastic. Interesting.
Okay.
Flat roll. Who's going to do it?
Fuck off. It's not me.
You're in the desert. You don't count anymore. I feel like Jess really took point on that. I don't know if you want to.
I will give it my goddamn best.
I believe in you.
Thank God one of us does. It's a 9.
Fantastic. You're correct enough, and we will see what happens in the future with that. For now, everyone gets 2 XP for completing the Night of the Bone Wolves. Congratulations. And a little stinger scene. Joey, you and Elliot have been walking in this desert for who knows how long. The sky is streaks of rainbow color. The sand is sometimes blue, sometimes pink. sometimes a delicate shade of green. Everything has a sort of glitchiness around the edges. You've just been walking in a direction with no real certainty where you should be going. But eventually, you see someone on the horizon. The two of you get closer to this person. They're walking toward you as well. It's a woman. Let's paint the scene. Looking at this woman, how can we tell that she's been living in this desert for years and that she's learned how to survive here?
I think that she has armed herself to fight off whatever's here, but she has got as armaments a Roman phalanx shield on her back and a halberd.
The colors of the clothing that she wears are so nondescript it's confusing. And it's confusing because you realize that lower down it matches the shifting colors of the sands, and then above it matches the shifting pinks of the sky. She disappears on the horizon.
Alongside her halberd and the shield, and underneath the shifting colours of the dress, her skin is almost devoid of moisture. It's as if it's been battered and worn against the sand in the wind over a millennia. It appears both soft and hard, smoothed like rock and eroded. And there are just some areas where it looks as if her bone is showing through. But when you get a little closer, you realize it's almost like a shell. And it's layers and layers of build-up of this sand over the years from areas where she's gotten simply too tired to brush it off. It isn't that it's devoid of moisture, it's that it's not made of skin. She's almost armored.
Joey, the two of you get closer and closer to this woman. And when you're close enough to really get a good look at her, she looks vaguely familiar, but you don't recognize her. If not for her, Mad Max chic, I'd describe her as smoking hot, but with a, sort of in a non-threatening girl next door kind of way. And somewhere in the distance, carried on the desert wind, someone is singing. Tonight, tonight, there's only you tonight. I saw you, and the world went away. Let's go to Stars and Wishes.
I'm not ready. That's not okay. Yeah. I think this game very much feels how TV Odyssey is presented. It always feels like there's another facet that we're not quite seeing. There's another element that we're not quite playing until it is thrust upon us in the most terrifying of fashions. And it keeps you on the edge of your seat. It really does. I really like this game. stars to Jason for pulling out 4 horrors in quick succession and making them the worst thing possible. Happy Jack with its bloody the spinal system of puppeteering is not my favorite by any stretch of the imagination. That was awful. But also the way that Cousin Dolores came back with the melted face, with the way that the Blam kids were just still the Blam kids and yet somehow even worse. And David Tillman just completely composed and an absolute bastard. There's nothing about those 4 horrors I didn't fear, and I'm glad we got to face them down, but at what cost? So thank you for that. Matt, pulling the chromatic desert at that point was such a strong story move. I was so angry when you first did it. I was so mad, absolutely enraged. I couldn't believe we'd lost a character. I'm furious. But for the story, it was the perfect thing for you to do. And it has added a layer of complexity that I didn't think maybe we'd get to see. I thought we'd all get to survive again if we wanted to, but that was absolutely phenomenal. And Leon, the description of like trying to figure out what you're doing, what Mal's doing, all while fighting everything off, and then using the dream in the single most inventive way. I'm very aware, like, throughout this entire like campaign, we've given each other like, you know, items and had stuff in corners of the house that we've gone, oh god, like, how are we going to use this? How are we going to make this work? And we burnt through a bunch of them in that final fight. That was my favorite use of an item this entire campaign. I think it was so perfect. You couldn't have pulled out a better move. So yeah, that was absolutely phenomenal. I am shell-shocked. That's it. That's all I've got.
Okay. Matt, JJ, I too was most aggrieved at your decision. I enjoyed the plan that came from us rapid firing, trying to get clues together, and then your determination to stick to said plan, even though it was all falling apart, and it actually working. I really enjoyed like seeing that whole follow through, and the hot just JJ trying to get a stinger line at every moment, hot potato blam, and then with Dolores in the tunnels, which never happened, I guess. No, I really enjoyed watching that come together. Nina, Jess, your scene with David Tilbert in that nether plane dream situation, and then your speech towards him, and then the little bit of, and she needs a new employer before you shine a light in his eyes to destroy him. It was so impassioned, and then like just so funny at the end. I'm so sorry for Nina. Every time we end up leaving her alone, she ends up just in a terrible situation. Oh god. Jason, everything was terrible. It was all horrifying. Thanks so much. Every time Cousin Dolores, because I know the show tunes, so I'm just like, this is going to be a bad memory for me. But no, I loved the Blam kids playing hot potato in a callback to them doing it with the egg. Happy Jack puppet. I don't have words for the puppet, honestly. Just killing NPCs left, right, and center. But no, Dolores, I didn't think Cousin Dolores was that scary when she was just a little. She's an old baby. She's the old baby. Got it. She's the old baby. It's come back. Got it. Thank you. Very good.
Yeah, that was great. I will star for all the keys. Full disclosure, Jason, and to the audience watching, someone in the Discord had a bright idea that we would link our dreams together, and we didn't plan any of the keys of the occluded king and his weird thing, but we just said where the king would be at the end of our dreams, and then we just kind of linked them all together, and that was really fun to pick up the baton, because as we started doing it, I was like, oh fuck, I have to think about everything everyone said and have to make it make some sort of sense. But I really liked that, and the way that happened. I really liked Wren's Key of the Child, and now we've got all three of our introductions to TV Odyssey. They're all super creepy and intense, and I think our interactions with them says an awful lot about the characters we've been playing in this. And yeah, the Happy Families thing was horrible. Jason, I loved your Twilight Zone introduction to Night of the Bone Wolves. I really liked that, and I'm certain you got a great big kick out of that. I think that as a keeper, like the Night of the Bone Walls is quite a task, I think, to keep all the plates spinning. And I thought you did that masterfully. The image of the Blam kids playing hot potato with dynamite, whilst, don't forget, playing football with a severed head, is so on point for the Blam kids. The recent Dark Threshold podcast that you put out about reincorporation, I thought was really interesting to think about now after this, because the three pillars aren't in the Odyssey tape. That's just some management speak bullshit that I mentioned, like, whilst thinking of my narration prompt, and now to see that brought into a pocket dimension as these kind of grotesque pillars with bodies skewered on them was just an absolute thrill. Also, I had when I was looking for David Tilbot, I wanted to put dynamite in his mouth and said, "Here's a fourth pillar," but I didn't get to have that. I got the moment with the Blam kids anyway. It doesn't really matter. And yeah, I just had a great time with that. I'm really pleased that I've gone to the Chromatic Desert, but I'm really pleased that I got to choose the moment that it happened, because I think that was what I was worried about going in the kind of lost transmission, because we were limited with keys. I kind of hoped that it didn't end up happening, and I'm really pleased that it got to happen when the stakes were the highest, and it actually meant something. And as soon as you gave me the option of I can be in the tunnels forever, I was like, well, I can bump up my roll, and what better way of doing it to mark that one. But yeah, just great play all round. That was an absolute joy, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, great session. I had a lot of fun with that. I'll echo a lot of what people have said already, but I knew what was coming. I had a general sense of it, at least. I adapted based off the answer to the question, of course, but I had a vague sense of how I wanted the attacks and stuff to go. But it was fun because I really enjoyed the way the solution you all came up with. I thought that was really terrific. And I've run Night of the Bone Wolves, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 other times in total, and this was they've never been so kind of supernatural. They've always been very gritty, barricade the doors and that kind of thing, right? That's fun too. It's got kind of the feeling of a home invasion movie. But this is really fun because you were kind of using all the stuff on your page, right? It's okay, well, this is the stuff I've got, so this is what we're gonna do. And so that was really fun. Star for using so much of everything on your page, right? You all burned a lot of resources during the Night of the Bone Wolves, and so that was really fun to see. It's fun to see a lot of it come together, and just it was really, really cool. I really enjoyed the answer to the Odyssey question, and it's a nice setup for kind of what's going to happen, and it feels really connected to everything that's been going on in the story. really appreciated the timing of the marking of the chromatic desert for JJ. That was really fun. It was like kind of one of those like really, great story beat moments. And love the whole interaction between David Tilbert and Nina. And and I'll just second the using the dream to splatter and distract Kaiju Happy Jack was was a lot of fun. So just a good time all around. Very excited. Very exciting finish to the sort of main part of the campaign. Right, you are now moving into the final layer, which is TV Odyssey. But yeah, that was a great time. I think that's all I got. So just wishes or excited to see where it's going.